Hello everybody, my name is Nalo and welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. The Armory update released back in October and there's been a ton of talk about its mechanics, its precedents, and most importantly, its future. Today's video will take a look at the Armory and I'll be giving you my take on how I think things will pan out from here, so strap in, earn your stars, and this video is sponsored by CS Bumps. If you're having trouble finding trades, CS Bumps is your perfect solution. It's extremely easy to start advertising your trades with them. All you have to do is go to the Create New Trade section and then select your items, choose the items you're looking for, and then click Add Trade. And you can start getting offers as early as under 30 seconds. They've also added a search feature to allow you to find trades that are already listed on the website. One really nice feature is that you can hover over items to see how much they're valued at, and there's a button on every trade advertisement to immediately send an offer to the person. They've got a comment section so you can discuss trades on the website. When someone comments on your trade, you'll get a notification on the website that'll take you directly to their comment. Then you can head down to the comment section and see what you need to discuss. Use the search feature to find items you want, get live notifications on your trades, and auto bump your trades with premium plans. The website is extremely streamlined, and if you're looking to trade for any items to change out your inventory, I would highly recommend them. Check them out with the link below. If you want to go ahead and use code Nalo, you'll get a free week of gold premium, and you can bump up your CS2 skin game. So the Armory gave us 3 new collections, which is what we're going to start with. We have the graphic design collection, which is basically for egotistical people that think knowing about fine art is a skill. We've got the sport and field collection, which is for Jeff mains and Marvel rivals, and other various toddlers. And finally, for those of us that are actually cultured skin collectors, the Overpass collection, a celebration of Counter-Strike and the magnum opus of the Armory. Regardless of which collection you like the best though, they've all been climbing recently, so now that the Armory's been in people's hands for a while now, I figured I'd actually go ahead and make a video about it. Do be warned that the Armory is in fact a new thing to the Counter-Strike economy, and the only thing we know about it is that it is limited time, and eventually it will get replaced with presumably new Armory collections. But the real question here is, how limited are we actually talking? To give you an idea of what we're currently looking at in terms of quantity, the M4A1S Fade has about 15,000 registered on CS Float, and the Op Dragonlore, for comparison, has about 7,000 registered. And for what it's worth, the Gungnir has about 3,000 registered. So needless to say, the Armory skins are a lot higher supply. Obtaining a red from the Armory collection is still about a 1 in 700 chance, so they are still pretty monumental pulls, especially considering that you have to actually go and earn the stars yourself and pay for the Armory passes. But with the basic mechanics out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the actual deep dive into these collections and what I think it's worth looking into in terms of investing. So for starters, a great cheap option here that you can go really high quantity on are the industrial grades. They are the absolute basis of each Armory collection, and they are going to be very popular in the future for trade-ups. With similar collections in the past, we've seen really monumental growth on items like the MP9 Army Sheen, which if you had an extremely large quantity of them, you could have made a huge bag on. The nice thing about these cheap skins is that they have a low barrier of entry, so if you want to stock up on a whole ton of them, that's not going to be a huge problem. When these skins eventually rotate out of the Armory, whenever that does actually end up happening, they will no longer be obtainable, so what we have is what we've got. I wouldn't say there's necessarily a perfect option here for an industrial grade, but I would sort of tend to look towards the graphic design collection for those industrial grades because they do trade up directly to the 8K crossfade, and I think that will be a popular trade up to do in the future. But honestly, I don't really think you can go wrong picking any of the industrial grades from any of the collections. Some standout industrial grades that I really like are the Galil Envy, which I just think is a really sick, very clean Galil. The Desert Eagle Tilted is of course a very, very nice Desert Eagle. I've seen a ton of people using it. I think stocking up on a few factory new ones could be kind of a decent option. The M4A1S Wash Me Please is not the most flashy M4 in the entire game, but it is kind of nice. Definitely one of the better industrial grades so far. And of course we have the AK-47 Olive Polycam from the Toddler collection. Moving on to the mil specs, again these are foundational for purple trade ups. There are a lot of really great purples in the Armory as a whole, so buying up a large quantity investment of mil specs may not be a bad idea. Some standout mil specs include the AK Crossfade of course, the super sick MAC-10 Pipsqueak, the Nova German name that I can't really pronounce, the budget case hardened aka the USP Alpine camo, the SSG Xeno, and the P250 small game, which is sort of an unsung hero at the moment, but I do think it's a very clean looking P250, and its skin is from a relatively popular collection. Now the purple tier is where I'd really start focusing on specializing on specific purples rather than just buying any random purple because it's a good trade up item. I think the MP9 Arctic Tritone will have sort of a Cinderella story at some point in the future. It's actually a surprisingly clean MP9. The Overpass collection features the AUG Eye of Zappums and the Dual Beretta Sweet Little Angels, which I think are both really fantastic skins. I would say arguably the Dual Beretta Sweet Little Angels are one of the best skins in the entire Armory as a whole. And from the graphic design collection, the M4A4 Polysoup is a really fantastic skin. It's a really nice low-key M4A4 and it has some really cool details on it. The CZ Auto Slalom, probably not pronouncing that correctly, but whatever. There's also a pretty cool CZ that has a lot of really interesting details on it as well. If the CZ ever becomes really popular in the future, then I think it'll be a solid option. For some standout pinks, we have the Desert Eagle Starcade, which is one of the first skins to feature a glitter finish. The Op Krakow might kind of fade into obscurity over time, but I do think it's a pretty decent op. And hey, it has a reference to Geometry Dash. And then I think both pinks from the Sport and Field collection are both really sick, the Galil Rainbow Spoon and the Glock Axia. Long into the future, I could see the Glock Axia kind of having a sort of Glock Fade type thing going on. In a way, it's sort of a counterpart to the Fade because it's kind of like a case-hardened Glock. It's also one of the first skins to feature a glitter finish, so that's kind of cool too. And hey, it trades up to the M4 Fade, so there's that too. Speaking of the M4 Fade, it is undoubtedly the most popular red from all three collections, followed by the AKP the Monster, and then of course followed by the oh so forgotten op. I don't think anyone is truly surprised by the M4 Fade's popularity. I mean, it's a nice clean Fade skin on a very popular item, so if you're wanting to just buy a big red and hold on to it, then I think the M4 Fade will probably surprise you with how well it does despite its supply. Anyway, let's move on to other parts of the armory, like for example the heat treated deagles. The heat treated deagle is from the LTD edition collection, or the limited edition item collection. This seems to be a collection that, as the armory evolves, will essentially serve as a way to get one special skin that kind of commemorates that era of the armory. In terms of investment strategies for the Desert Eagle heat treated, it's kind of hard to say because of course it's very pattern based. The better patterns are going to run you a ton of money, so the barrier to entry for those is really high. But I think off the basis that it is a limited time exclusive item that could end up doing pretty well for its price in general. So maybe picking up a couple of them just to see where they go might not be a bad idea. Now we've also got charms and we've also got stickers. For stickers, I think one of your best options overall is the high heat sticker. It's a blue that's still relatively cheap. You can buy a large quantity of these. I don't think its price will really do anything too crazy because it's supposed to be kind of a way to decorate your weapon in a cheap way. So obviously it can't become unbearably expensive because then it won't be serving its purpose anymore. But with the popularity of high heat crafts, I think this is a solid option to invest into. The Hydro Stream sticker is also a good option, and I won't elaborate further. I've also seen some cool crafts going around with the Bolt Charge and Bolt Strike stickers, so those could also be good options. Between the two, the Bolt Strike sticker is going for half the price, so with the same amount of money you'll be able to buy 2 times the quantity, so that's something to consider. For the character, got a Discord server and a Twitter, which you can find links to below as well. You can come talk to me there and ask me any questions that you have, and as always, thanks a lot for watching my videos, guys. Hopefully this proves to be a successful return. Peace. Arms, all of which have a range of rare patterns that you can get for them. In particular, the Ruby Diecast AK is a really standout option. It's a pretty rare pattern range to hit, and it's like a Ruby AK, so that's pretty cool. I think deep into the future, when the armory has rotated out, that'll be a pretty big flex charm. The Baby Carrot charms I think are kind of just overall forgettable. They are rare, but I really don't see a reason that you'd pick one of them over the Semi-Precious if you wanted to flex. The Semi-Precious kind of just makes more sense because it kind of emulates the Doppler skins of CS. The Missing Link charm collection is a really weird one. It's hard to tell how the market will react to these going forward, but I think the Diamond Dog and the Little Teacup are your two best options for investment potential. Diamond Dog because it's literally just like a big blob of diamond on your skin, which I think people will kind of respond well to, and Little Teacup because it has a lot of cool little patterns that you can get on it, so I think it will maintain attention deep into the future. Hot Howl is also pretty cool. I think again, like the Baby Carrots, it's going to probably be a little bit forgettable, but because of its rarity alone, people may hold on to it. And with that, that about concludes my deep dive into the armory. If you guys made it to the end of the video, you might as well like it because obviously you stuck around this long. There had to be something that you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel for more great CS2 content.